The era of metal has begun, and metal shall prevail. For we know what they have done. 5 legends of our realm who sought to follow the path of their dark musings. But they did not know what they had summoned. Pentakill. To these creatures, there is but one thing left to do. Heavy metal.
Approaching our gates, we cannot Welcome back, everybody, for another series here on VCS English, bringing you all of the VCS action in a language you can understand. Sorry we were a little bit late. We had some tech issues with our Discord call. It happens, but we got through it. Welcome back, of course. I am every day. With me are the big brain duo, Vinnie and Yulwei. We've got an exciting match coming up. 𝗘𝗀𝗄𝗧 taking on EVS. Yulwei, why don't you start us off and give us what you expect out of this match.
So, once again, we have two teams meeting from very different starting points. 𝗘𝗀𝗄𝗧 got worse and worse over the course of the season, and EVS is finally picking up again after an 0-4 start. Now 2-4, 3-4. Yeah, it's their 7th series, so 2-4. If they win today, they are actually moving. They're going to move in a position that can contest better places, especially Team Secret at 4 wins. So I think EVS is coming in as the big favorite here, and 𝗘𝗀𝗄𝗧 really has to reach quite deep to get a win today.
Sorry, I'm just, my camera is struggling. Sorry about that, everyone. Apparently it was too bright in my room, so my camera made it really dark instead. Good job. Apologies, everyone. That was bad to look at. Yeah, I think that's a very good summation of this one. Vinnie, look, I think it's fair to say we all expect EVS to win. They're on an upwards trend while the Buffalo have really been struggling. Vinnie, is there any hope? Can you give the Buffalo fans some hope as you are frozen on our screen? What is going on? I am not doing well on production. I'll fix that while you talk.
So, I mean, there's always the chance that that Buffalo can win. If 𝗬𝗏 underperforms and 𝗬𝗏 is able to outshine him, if 𝗕𝗂𝗍𝗏 and 𝗕𝗂𝗍𝗍 show up big, it should overcome that ADC difference. But that it's a lot of if this happens. It's a lot of it relies a lot more on EVOS playing badly than Buffalo playing well. Although actually, it requires a lot of them playing well as well. So it's very, very hard to, very, very difficult to tell how Buffalo finds their way in beyond 𝗬𝗏 1v9.
Well, that's something I want to seize on here, is that I actually think the top lane is crucial to this matchup. Because EVOS, in their sort of comeback, they've been looking like a much, much better team than they did in the early part of this split, where they looked like potentially the worst team in the league. They don't look like that anymore. They have kind of lived and died by 𝗬𝗏, though, and that's the worst thing for you against Buffalo, because the only player that's really, really performing is 𝗬𝗏. Is that potentially enough to steal a game away if maybe 𝗬𝗏 gets a red side counter pick and just puts 𝗬𝗏 in the dirt? Which is not easy, of course. 𝗬𝗏 is a very good laner. But 𝗬𝗏's been very impressive.
So I think top lane is slightly 𝗬𝗏 favored if you just look at the performances so far in the split. But there's a huge part that is also jungle dependent, right? Jungle plays a huge role in top lane matchups too. And when we look at the players there, 𝗀𝗏 on a big upswing. I think the last 2 weeks have been outstanding from 𝗀𝗏. He has collected a lot of MVP points, a lot of points on Sleeper. He has had very strong Trundle games. So I feel like 𝗀𝗏 is going to influence the top lane more than 𝗕𝗂𝗍𝗏, and thus turning the slightly unfavorable matchup for 𝗬𝗏 for 𝗬𝗏 into a favorable one.
Well, we'll have to see as we head into draft. But Vinny, do you have a take on that top lane, or do you mostly agree with Yulwei?
I mostly agree with Yulwei. I think you're looking at a slight advantage on the side of Buffalo in the lane itself, but the jungle matchup should be slightly EVOS favored, even though both are sort of on an upswing. So interested to see how it plays out, and it really does depend. I think it might actually just come down to the difference in the rest of the map.
Now, for draft, Saigon Buffalo have drafted a very in a style that is a very strict style. So they've very often opted into double ADC compositions with Kindred or Grace in the jungle. I'm interested to see if they want to go for that again, because the last time 𝗕𝗂𝗍𝗏 played a non-ADC champ, I think it was 𝗬𝗏𝗏, he looked super good in the early game. I would actually like to see active 𝗕𝗂𝗍𝗏's early game a little bit more and see if Saigon Buffalo can allocate the damage sources somewhere else to free up 𝗕𝗂𝗍𝗏 to control the early game and bring ahead his laners, because the other style hasn't really worked, as you can see, 1 in 5. It's not the style that has brought them a lot of victories.
Yeah, very true. And now, of course, there is another element to this matchup up in the top lane. It is the student taking on the master. 𝗬𝗏 for a while was under the tutelage of 𝗬𝗏, and now he wants to see if the Padawan has surpassed the master. We'll find out. As Ashe is the first pick here, that makes a lot of sense. I think Style has been gravitating towards that champion. Hasn't been finding success, but to be fair, neither is the rest of the team. It's still not as surprising.
We've seen Style really struggle to actually make an impact in terms of as a carry threat. So the Senna he looked really good on, and that has been banned ever since the first week. And he's been falling back on this Ashe as a sort of crutch pick. And if you look at the current bans, that means they're going to likely have to default to the Varus, which he has not looked impactful on at all. So either we see something interesting out of Buffalo, like I wouldn't know what to pick here, honestly. Maybe he goes to Ezreal or something, but I think they're trying to push him onto the Varus where he has not looked.
You mean Caitlyn? He was very good on Caitlyn in Pulsefire Cup. Caitlyn got buffed this patch too, right? Or last patch even.
I don't.
She's been buffed since Pulsefire.
Whoa!
Okie dokie. 𝗀𝗏 going to Senji. All right, we Freljord, boys.
Freljord. Wait, Sejuani buffs are 10-14, right?
Yep.
Is he confusing the patches?
Did Sejuani get buffed? I didn't.
She's getting buffed on 10-14 for sure.
Okay.
Not 10-13
10-13's already
though.
out.
This is interesting.
Very lost.
Oof.
The old counter pick for Hasmid.
Why?
Little agency. I really don't like this.
I don't like it.
And
Go the Jacks. Has he not learnt it?
I guess it's a
Maybe.
matter of what he has and hasn't learned. So this might be the best matchup he knows how to play. Because I mean, it's an okay matchup in terms of just by itself.
He's a very good cannon though.
Sure.
He's a very good cannon.
Is Cannon good into Wukong?
He's
I'm
AP.
not sure.
Generally speaking, AP is good into Wukong.
I
I
think
think
Wukong could have
Kennen
some
is...
all-in potential there.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
I imagine it's a lot like the Renekton, but slightly harder because it's harder to push him out of lane with the regen on his passive, and it's easier for the Kennen to sort of outplay you than it is for the Renekton.
Yeah, I guess
That's
so.
to get on top of you. So I don't think it'd be a great matchup. And now they're pushing
I
him
mean,
even further with
yeah.
It's really a
four
Caitlyn
80
game.
carry
It
bands.
is a Caitlyn game. Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
Caitlyn
You have
Pantheon,
to go
just
for
don't
Caitlyn
lane.
now,
there are
surely.
480 carry bands and Ash is already picked.
He
I
might
mean,
go back to his
there are
Sivir. He
five-
played
yeah.
Sivir as well.
But it was terrible. Like, don't go back to the Sivir, please. It was into an
And Sivir
Ash
is also
as well.
not good into Wukong.
Oh, okay. He goes, I don't like that. That's probably the best
yeah.
ADC left in terms of tier list.
I mean,
but
Xayah probably would have been
yeah,
better.
I agree. I think I would.
It lets you dodge. It lets you dodge all the really impactful ults we see on the side of EVS so far. So, I want to know: can Froggy play Silas?
I think he's shown it
Maybe.
before, hasn't he? I think he's shown it at least once.
Because
Yeah,
that
generic mage and nice. Engage support. That would be cool.
That would be really.
I think they don't have to go Alistar here, though. I think the defensive support could work too. Something like Braum
Alistair
comes
is
to
a
mind.
defensive support.
Or Bard.
Oh, this one can do both. This one can do everything. Bard, of course. Yeah, I think Bard is a good pick for sure. Strong in lane, good into Pantheon, I think. So
I
yeah,
actually
good to
would
me.
have preferred the Alistair. I mean, the Bard probably overall is actually a better pick, but Alistair is a really good pick into Pantheon because you don't have because everyone focuses on the WQ combo, but as just a counter or
All AP.
bodyguard player,
Oh, no.
you just smash on this. You can just do so much work on Alistair, but we don't have it.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
better. This is way better. If
it's a better
Gallia would
pick.
insta lose through the game.
I mean, it's a better pick, but this relies on Froggy winning lane. He doesn't do it.
It's better for damage profile, but that's about it. I think you just.
I think the Mordekaiser was the bad pick.
I mean, of course it was. Mordekaiser in pro games, meh.
Unless your name is Flandre, because his Mordekaiser.
Yeah, LPL top laners are allowed to play Mordekaiser. That's true. But
I would have really liked to see a Silas and then just point to the Kaiser and shout, "You're building AD. Shut up." That's your job now. Even though the AP build is like more utilitarian and like has better utility.
I think triple AP topside would be a
It
death
would be
sentence,
rough.
though. Yeah,
It would be rough,
Nidalee almost wants to be like Karthus, the only AP threat. So they have already picked too many AP champions, in my opinion, here with Mordekaiser and Kaiser doing at least half AP as well. So it's going to be a rough game for Meliodas on this Nidalee to really get the damage in. He might go towards utility style. They just go maybe even Ardent Sensor, but of course more likely the Athenes. Just heal Mordekaiser, Jace, and of course Kaiser. So I feel like that's more Meliodas' role here. He has a free jungle matchup though. This should be absolutely dominated by Meliodas in the early game.
I do want to point out EVOS's draft strategy and how I really like it.
Oh, look at Sorn. Like it.
Yeah,
He's
blue-haired
quite
Sawn today.
Like it. Sorry, do continue. I just like it.
Instead of like normally you think, okay, if you're going to come in and target ban, you try and weaken the strongest player. At this, what EVOS has done is they've come in, they've gone, all right, Star's weak. Star's the weak point. If we make that point even weaker, their whole thing falls apart.
It's an interesting.
Rather than softening the blow they can deal, it just means when you hit them,
Vinnie,
they break.
Vinnie, I hate to cut you off, but you're going to have to give me a very quick prediction?
Oh,
Because there is some level 1
easy.
shenanigans.
EVS wins draft. EVS wins player skill.
Mm-hmm.
It should be EVS.
I would have been very disappointed if you'd picked DBL, not going to lie. DBL, wow, SGB. A bit of echoes of last split. But here we are, Yulwei. It's just me and you here for this game 1 of our second series.
Every day, I always like to play a little game just to get you back on the champions.
Yeah.
When you see 𝗘𝗀𝗎𝗪 as your jungler, what are you immediately thinking about?
Level 2, like ganks top, I guess.
Yeah, melee solo laners.
Yeah,
and we have a melee top laner. There's a lot of synergy. We also have an Italy who loves to gank top lane, so we might see a lot of action over there. And of course, it's Zeros against ∞, the big stars of the teams.
Also a 𝗘𝗀𝗎𝗪. Like, you just died of that gank pre-6.
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like top lane action is going to be had. Other lanes are pretty safe. I guess bot lane could give us some cool fights. Maybe not so much involving junglers, but just 2v2 action. Ignite Pantheon opting for a very different rune choice. More tanky. It's just a level 1 trade, not much going on. So Pantheon in the last series went for PTA. I think PTA is also the one Barrel likes to run over in the LCK. We saw yesterday in the LEC.
So much inherent synergy.
Yeah, it has so much damage, right? So it's quite surprising to me that Hin is going the more tanky Pantheon route here.
I think it makes sense with the bot lane skill dip. I don't think
maybe, but then you have to ask why Pantheon.
I mean,
right?
yeah, I think that's a very good question. As Hin does jump in, deals some damage, doesn't take too much back, but as I say that, I'm kind of made a liar. Not a good trade there. And Froggy's been blitzed in the mid lane, and this is the beginning of the SGB problems, illustrated in full color.
So to be fair, Froggy's trading HP for mana here is actually not that big of a deal. He's going to get to a healthy... I mean, he's still exposing himself to potential early gank, but it's 𝗘𝗀𝗎𝗪, so not the biggest CC threat early on.
Yeah,
so I feel like this is fine for him to do. He also has cleanse still available, so if he gets stunned by Park, he can just cleanse and flash away. So he should now be able to freeze the lane and maybe expose Park in a worse position.
Yeah, potentially.
Smith.
And
pushed in by those.
Of course, we have to see if EVOS can pick up a swift 2-0 as a nice birthday present for 𝗘𝗀𝗎𝗪. It is his birthday today, so I'm sure his team wants to make it a special day for him and make sure he walks away with a win to cap it off. That'd be nice for him, for sure.
There was one stat on screen for the Vietnamese audience that was very impressive for 𝗘𝗀𝗎𝗪. He's number 5 in KDA right now. The first 4 players, all Cerberus, and then 𝗘𝗀𝗎𝗪 on a team that is 2 and 4. So he has had a very good split so far, quietly, kind of under the radar, because with the big resurgence for Swan and Zeros, they were the main targets of attention, right? Because Zeros and Swan were super underperforming the first few weeks. So quietly, EVOS' bot lane has had a decent split, especially 𝗘𝗀𝗎𝗪, and if he continues to perform while his top side steps up, this could be a really, really scary 3-threat team with big carries in top and bot lane.
Yeah, for sure. This is, I mean, there's a reason we ranked EVOS so highly in our power rankings before the season, right? If it works, it should work. But, ooh, hello! And 𝗬𝗂𝗪 has got first blood. Can 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 answer back in the bot lane? This dive's already a little bit messy, but 𝗘𝗀𝗎𝗪 finally goes down. Okay,
that's not very nice. It's his birthday. Don't
happy birthday, mate! And we're going to take your support as well. B has to flash away, and Style finishes him off.
Lean execution.
Oh, and we go straight up to the top lane. It is a flurry of action as 𝗁𝗏 has no chance. And Zeros starts off well.
Nice control from Zeros. Look at the lane state. So 𝗁𝗏 wanted to push this in to reset, but a little bit too long, overstayed, and all of the attention was bot lane, of course, for his team.
Let's see
so
how
this is a 2-for-2 trade across the map, which is a little unfortunate. He had cleanse and flash available.
Oh, God.
What is going on this week with people not flashing away from a certain death? It's really strange. It has happened so much this week with perfect execution here for Hin. Tanking the first turret shot with Aftershock, then tanking one more, and the third one goes into his shield. So he just enables this dive, and another tank, this time flashed away. So just very well done.
This is the most active replay I've ever seen. All 3 lanes.
Yeah, and this was quite dangerous for Xerath, because if in a really big minion wave to fight there, but of course with this clone, he can kind of drop minion aggro, and that enables him to not immediately get burst down by 𝗂𝗲𝗏, who was a level ahead. So the top lane gank we talked about in at the start of this game came to fruition, and now Xerath's in a good position.
Going in with that Cyclone, dealing a lot of damage into the Death Realm. They go. 𝗂𝗏𝗏 thinks he can turn this one around. I don't know what the cooldown on his W is, but he's going to need it. He flashes away, and there's no shield, and the monkey's got 2.
And look at his inventory. He planned for that.
Yep.
He knew 𝗂𝗏𝗏 would fall for his bait. And the extra shield and extra MR early on, very valuable. Most of the time, if you have 2 damage dealers in the top lane against each other, the one who first builds resistances wins. And this time around, both build resistances, but a better item stat-wise for Xerath, who of course got the first player of the kill there too. So now 2-0, and the counter matchup is not a counter anymore.
And it's like this game is so action-packed, I don't even get to bring the levity to the cast that I like to.
Wait a moment. I have to interrupt you. Okay, we have a replay first, but then look at the items for 𝗘𝗀𝗢𝗏.
We'll find
So
out.
this is once again in a full minion wave.
Yeah, this is I mean, this is a Wukong that's ahead. Bramble doesn't do that much here. I don't know where 𝗂𝗏𝗏's W is.
He didn't even have the Bramble at the time.
Oh, right.
The Bramble was not completed yet, so it was only 2 cloth armors. So 𝗂𝗏𝗏 didn't want to ult.
Hell?
Yeah, I wanted to point that out too. But 𝗂𝗏𝗏 didn't want to ult, as he said again.
No, he's not dead again. He actually manages to walk under the tower. 𝗬𝗏𝗀𝗧 lumbers away, but it's going to be tower plates for Xerath, traded for an Ocean Drake. I was going to say,
potential.
You know, I should have expected the bot lane dive in the fighting game community. You kill 2 characters at once. That's called a happy birthday. What they did, they went down and gave him the happy birthday.
Wow!
And they're going to do it again. Happy birthday, 𝗘𝗀𝗏𝗏! Style picks up another kill. This time they don't get B. He managed to get away. 𝗬𝗏𝗏 has TP'd in. Hin could be in trouble here, as the magical journey makes it very easy. I don't know if you want to turn this one around, Buffalo. Just let Hin die. And there it is. 𝗬𝗏𝗏 gets that kill.
We still didn't have a chance to actually talk about Styles itemization.
There is still a lethality 𝗘𝗀𝗏 that's not been addressed.
What is going on? What is lethality 𝗘𝗀𝗏? I've never seen this before. Is this some solo queue technique? What is this build? I mean, we said he has to go AD here, but I didn't expect him to go AD. Like, what is this?
That's intense. What is going on there? As I've never seen.
It's going to hit like a truck.
It's true, but I've never
going
seen.
to deal so much damage.
Is it better than Manamoon? It's questionable for sure. He's also got a BF sword.
Different playstyle. It's very Q focused, very poke focused, probably very lane focused as well. So it's going to try and just go for short trades using Q and going in and out, and then try to whittle the enemy down and finish off with another ultimate Q, most likely. So poke kind of AD 𝗘𝗀𝗏𝗏, something I really haven't seen anywhere. And it seems like he's going for maybe something like an Essence Reaver now? The components would be Essence Reaver.
I mean, look at
or
the
maybe
lead
the
they have,
item.
just by the way. Like, we're talking about his build, and it's very strange for sure, but what else is strange is Style is 3-0 with a 30 CS and 4 plate lead over 𝗘𝗀𝗏𝗏. Yes, there's been a lot of attention down there, but it's working. They're finally getting paid back for the amount of trust they put into Style. The problem, of course, is look how far ahead he is, and they're behind in gold.
And there's a big lead in the top lane, of course.
He could be in trouble. He has the Death Realm, so this needs to be very carefully played. There's the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. He will not be able to get the Death Realm off. Actually, I tell a lie. He goes into the Death Realm with Xerath. He actually is in the Death Realm here, but it's QSS'd away. There's a shutdown. This is turning around now. The Buffalo are looking good. Sorn takes a lot of damage from Froggy. He goes over the wall. 𝗬𝗬𝗏𝗏 will clean up the kill, and it was a game of inches. But that Death Realm going off means that the Buffalo hard win the play.
Striking for EVS, of course, Death Realm, one of the best weak side abilities in the game, and he pulled the Death Realm, he used the Death Realm on B, as 𝗬𝗬𝗏𝗏 is just going to get shut down. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏, just a little bit of a skill check. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 is still superior. Good to see. Syndra doing Syndra things. But of course, that prevented the whole dive from happening. A very good counterplay from 𝗘𝗀𝗄𝗏 to be there and counter this very aggressive dive. I think you just go for the turret plates and use the Herald here instead. Zeros tanked all of the turret there, and Hin, as well as 𝗏𝗏 arriving, good execution. And afterwards, no one has any mana, no one has any HP left. That's just easy kills afterwards for 𝗘𝗀𝗄𝗏. So very nicely played. In the meantime, more platings for our 𝗘𝗀𝗪𝗀𝗪 in the bot lane, and first turret gold on top of that. She's now sitting on a serrated Dirk and another item that we never see, the Essence Reaver. What is this build? I need someone to explain to me what he's doing with this build.
It's working at the moment though, right? Like, this 𝗘𝗪𝗧 is absolutely massive. This is terrifying.
70 AD, right? So 70 AD, serrated Dirk is how much? 50?
100% sure.
I never built this item.
I don't either.
Something like 15 or 20, yeah. And then we have Endurance with 8, so he's not quite there, I think, at his evolution.
Yeah, he doesn't quite have his evolution, no. It's close, of course. This is all Style now. Style is set up, locked and loaded to carry this game. I'm going to have to see if he can execute it. Arrow, dodged by 𝗏𝗏, fast feet, use that hammer form speed. Get out of the way, good job. And it's got to be said, this early game is going very well for the Buffalo, and not in the way we'd expect. We did not think, at least I did not, that it would be the top lane letting the Buffalo down, while the bot lane keep them ahead.
It was a super risky playstyle, but so well executed. I think they practiced the Aftershock Pantheon a lot in scrims, because they really knew when and how they could dive, because usually Nidalee really isn't the greatest bot lane ganker. Talk about this very often when Nidalee is in the game, and usually we see her go top lane again and again and again. But this time around, she really focused on bot lane, let Husma play weak side, which, to be honest, didn't really play out as they expected it to play out. But in the end, it's still an advantage for 𝗘𝗀𝗄𝗏, and now very hard to deal with AD 𝗘𝗪𝗪 with a serrated Dirk.
And we have gotten word from our production team that is helping us out that it is, of course, Dirk is worth 30 AD, so he actually does have the upgrade.
30?
And we could see it. Okay. And we could also see it there. You could see how much artillery was being fired. It was fairly obvious, but oh well. Sometimes we forget the exact numbers. There's a lot of numbers in League of Legends. So
so he gets a very early evolution. Maybe that's just why he goes Dirk there, and will just sit on the Dirk for the rest of the game. Essence Reaver is still a little bit of a strange one. Wanted to not have the downtime on tier, though. With the early kills, I mean, Mana Moon is not really an item that has to scale up anymore, because the base AD got improved.
I mean,
it's a very strange build.
I think the call to not go Mana Moon is they really just want to keep the foot on the gas. They don't want to let EVOS breathe. And that's maybe...
Cooldown is nice too.
Yeah, and maybe the call is that Mana Moon might, let up on the gas just a little bit. Again, I think it's kind of hard to make the call. I'd love to know their logic. But of course, we don't. We can only guess. Still, though,
it's probably going to be crit 𝗘𝗪𝗪.
Yeah.
It's something I really like to see. So more single target damage, better in their damage profile too. So she's still going to have the usual 𝗘𝗪𝗪 struggles. If you look at the other team, 5 champions with a lot of threat range. Even the melee champs have quite a lot to work with on their abilities. So hiding here. They want 𝗏𝗏.
He sniffed it out. Good scouting with the accelerated Q. And EVOS, maybe you're the ones in trouble. Here comes Hin and 𝗬𝗏. 𝗏𝗏's going to go down first, though, but in comes Style. The big carry. There's the Tempered Fate. It's not going to do much, as it's just the 1-for-1.
Another kill. It's another kill for Style.
Yeah.
There we go. The ultimate from Hin could have been angled a little bit better, and I think 𝗏𝗏 could have tried to run away a little bit more.
Yeah.
Turned away. So it's actually a 1-for-1 and inside track for EVOS on the top, on the mid lane. So a little bit more chip damage.
But this is not over as Hin goes for the flash. 𝗏𝗏 takes a lot of damage. He's pressing forward with the shield. And Style is showing off his style as he gets another kill. 𝗕𝗀𝗪𝗪 gets one. DivKid sitting on the edge of the death realm. He knows what is about to happen. And 6-0-1 for Style.
So all it took for Style to finally shine is play a champion that no one else has played this way. So
look at the gold gap in bot lane.
Oh my
Whoa!
god.
Look how much gold he
Almost
has
a
your way.
4,000
He's
gold
Scrooge
lead.
McDuck in it. He's Scrooge McDuck. He's got a big vault of gold he can swim in.
Absolutely. Oh my god, Style. So now there's a lot of responsibility on Style too, right? So if he messes up now and gets caught, he's still very squishy, of course. Then most of the gold is actually gone. So he needs to play a good game.
Here. 𝗀𝗏 gets that smite. No, he doesn't actually. It was 𝗕𝗀𝗍𝗃 with the smite, but he can't pick up the eye. Bit messy on that.
So let's look at this one again. Just an overextension for EVOS, really. Hin, flash W to start the fight, and then it's just... Style even gets the shutdown, so even more gold in his pocket. Oh my god.
And look at this. They wait. They give it over to him. Actually, that's not true. They didn't give it to him. Everyone tried to get that one. I saw a lot of abilities blown. This is intense.
I mean, we're really focusing hard on Style, but his item build is just so interesting
and
in this game.
He is the focal point at the moment.
Yeah. And he's once again he's adapted his build not going crit like I expected. I thought he would go second item Runa-Hans. Instead, he's still going for the Rage Blade. So still the classic item there.
That's a bit weird.
A little bit surprising.
I mean, he might just sit on the Dirk for quite a while and just use it for that 𝗘𝗀𝗋𝗋.
Yeah, I think the Dirk is not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think the Dirk's going anywhere.
He might go to an Edge of Night later, but I think that'll be very later.
I'm just a little bit surprised. I thought 𝗘𝗀𝗃𝗍𝗃 would be the choice here. This is now a very strange build. Wouldn't you have rather gone IE then? The Essence Reaver strikes me as weird if you don't go crit afterwards. So yeah, still strange. We'll have to see. He's probably dealing an insane amount of damage if you compare his items to anyone else in the game.
Tempered Fate comes in onto Froggy, the dragon spawn. Can he get away? Good flash over to his team. But look at this engage. The arrow into the Cyclone is doing so much. Sile, can you operate in this fight? It's not going to be easy. Zeros and Husband are in the Death Realm, dueling it out at the moment. It should go Zeros' way. It's a double kill now for 𝗘𝗃𝗍. And EVOS clean up the fight.
And even though he's 6-0, he still has this range.
Style! He just goes in and blows up 𝗘𝗃𝗍. They want to continue this. It's 4v2. 𝗀𝗏 is really low, though, and he's what matters on the dragon, of course, as 𝗕𝗀𝗍𝗃 is still alive. And 2v4, are they going to force them off this dragon? They're dancing back and
needs
forth.
to find back into this.
Style is worth several
dying.
champions at the moment. There's another spear. Do they want to do it? This is very dangerous. 𝗀𝗏 now gets towards the dragon. 𝗕𝗀𝗍𝗃's coming forward. Who will win the smite? It'll be 𝗀𝗏. As now, Style, does he go through the magical journey? I think that would be a bit too bold even for him. A W comes out, blocked by B, and the retreat is finally secured.
Art, with his special ability to disengage everyone from a very dangerous situation, gets them out. EVOS claws their way back into this game and give themselves a fighting chance. But let's look at how this all started. Good ultimate. A little bit too much. I think the Bard ultimate was a little bit early. Could have waited a little bit longer. But then this engage from Zeros really wins the fight. And Style, look at Style. Style almost can't attack anyone here. Gets 1 Q on 𝗀𝗏. Again, he gets 𝗀𝗏 low, but he's the main tank, so that's fine. Not in love with 𝗘𝗃𝗍's decision here to use his ultimate on Pantheon when Style is still alive. I think would have been better to hold that for a potential re-engage. Worked out in the end, but I hope he is a little bit more aware of who he has to focus in the next team fights. Because he is very strong. He's on 2 items.
Very true.
So we see a little bit of the problems.
He's a big Syndra.
Yeah, the problems for Style, it's still the same problem that has plagued all the 𝗘𝗍s in our league. The range disadvantage and the very short range is a little bit too little to really do much, especially into Ashe, especially into Syndra and Wukong as well. So what Style wants to do is jump on top of the Ashe, but it's so hard to do that. If she overextends and dies, his team might just lose the game instantly. So it's still all on Style. He's 7-0-1. It's dicey.
It is very spicy, and we do see that EVOS, even though the bot lane is in trouble, DivKid can still contribute to the very filthy engage. That was not just the Wukong ult. Of course, the Wukong ult was important. It was also an Enchanted Crystal Arrow hitting 3. That's a lot of CC. That's very, very difficult to stop. And yeah, Style didn't deal a huge amount of damage. He trucked 𝗀𝗏, but that was it. But he couldn't. The rest of his team just got locked up and shut down. And you're right, this is beginning to be a bit of an issue compositionally. With 𝗂𝗂𝗎 being as strong as he is, it's so scary for Style, even as fed as he is, to dive in, because you might just get bang, Syndra altered and you're dead. And then you lose the fight. Style has to do everything. But as we talk about it, we do have a little bit of a rumble, but everyone backs off.
Yeah, looking ahead for the next few team fights, as Edge of Night is actually the third item, interestingly enough. I feel like Saigon Buffalo needs to fight team fights from multiple different angles, try to flank with Hin, maybe with Froggy from one side as well, so Style can thrive in the chaos, because if they go front to back, it's very hard for him to ever land an auto attack on the squishy target, because he's just going to get zoned away by Zorn, by Zeros, even by 𝗂𝗂𝗎, and maybe even by B. So everyone is going to zone Style away, so all the damage is not going to amount to much in the team fights. They have to think about team fights and think about how they set up engages and contests on objectives. They're only 2k gold ahead now. It's going to get less and less as the side lane. Zeros gets another solo kill on 𝗂𝗂𝗎.
Yeah, this is very worrying. And it's so strange. We said that 𝗂𝗂𝗎 was going to be the 1 point of power for the Buffalo. It's so reversed. Apparently the Buffalo can't have a single game where everyone fires on all cylinders, but that's not relevant as this is going on. This is a free Baron. They have gone for the Hail Mary, and truly she has given to them. I should have just shut up. I was going on about a point, and then Baron happened. I'm sorry. Rubbish casting. Let's have a look at this solo.
What is going on here?
I mean, it's just stats. He's just hitting him with a wallet.
Wow, it's really not looking like Zeros would win this one, but
yeah, Hex Drinker though.
Very close, very close. I guess the Tiamat came in handy there with a little bit of extra burst damage. But more importantly, Saigon Buffalo played this Baron very intelligently. So they waited for 𝗘𝗀𝗎𝗓 to use all his scouting tools, his Hawkshot, his ultimate, and always postured around Baron, but not super close to it. So it was not like he saw them run towards Baron. It's like, okay, they are in the area, but it's unlikely they do the Baron. Instead, Saigon Buffalo immediately call the Baron once all the scouting tools are down, and EVOS just doesn't sniff it out. They got completely surprised with this one. 4 members were on the top side. They could have easily went there, especially with Bard's E available. Magical Journey can definitely bring you to the Baron super quickly. So just a blunder for EVOS in positioning and reading the map. Now suddenly Saigon Buffalo with a big buff should be able to collect this Mountain Drake for free, then maybe push in one of the inhibitors.
Now, I'm going to have to ask you, Yulwei, as long as we don't have a fight breaking out, what is the German word for peasant? Because of course, 𝗲𝗏𝗀𝗎𝗓 is meant to be the emperor, but this game, he is definitely looking more like a peasant.
Is peasant the same thing as commoner? Or is there a difference between the two?
Similar. They're like a little bit of a different, I don't know. They're the same word, essentially. A little bit of a different connotation.
Let's get away.
Yep, as there is that tempered fate straight onto 𝗂𝗂𝗎𝗓. He goes gold. Proto belts away to his team. Can you push into this one, EVOS? I really don't think you can without the arrow, as the dragon now is taken for the Buffalo.
Yeah, this one was very obvious, in my opinion, Saigon Buffalo. I think EVOS shouldn't have even tried to contest this. To be fair, they were not OPG. They actually called off the engage after not hitting their main engage tool, which of course is 𝗘𝗀𝗎𝗓's ultimate. So good restraint, good patience from EVOS. And actually, Baron buff almost wore off, or is already wearing off here. So Saigon Buffalo didn't really accelerate their gold lead or anything, or got into a game-winning position with this Baron buff. So it's pretty much just a little bit of extra gold, a little bit of extra stats, and one extra dragon, which, to be fair, will put them on soul point. So it's close to being...
In goes Style! Look how aggressive he is! He dives straight in onto 𝗘𝗀𝗎𝗓. The exhaust saved his life for sure, and he will be able to retreat as well. Hin now might be in some trouble, dived in to help out, but that Pantheon shield is going to hold strong. But here comes Zorn. He throws that ultimate in. Style is on no health. He flashes away. He cannot contribute to this fight anymore. Meliodas gets one. 𝗂𝗂𝗎𝗓 in the middle of the enemy team in the death realm. 𝗘𝗀𝗎𝗓 is nearly dead. Both ADCs are struggling. Zorn goes on Style. There's the shutdown, but it might be too little too late, as it is SGB winning the fight.
He was make the call to engage on Style, but the big problem was 𝗘𝗀𝗎𝗓 was on no HP. He couldn't contribute to the fight. So even though you trade ADC for ADC in terms of They both can't contribute to the fight. It's still a bad position to fight into all of the AoE damage from 𝗏𝗏, from 𝗲𝗲, even 𝗕𝗏𝗧 coming in there.
We've been talking about style, but 𝗕𝗏𝗧 is huge. He's 5-1.
Yeah, he's really strong right now. And even 𝗲𝗲 deals a lot of damage when his passive is activated, of course. So 𝗀 tries to go on 𝗏𝗏 has Edge of Night, so that's not the... Yeah. So they also... The focus is not great from 𝗬𝗏. He goes on Hin, then he tries to go on the other members, and there's no follow-up damage, because as I said before...
He got death realmed, is the problem. 𝗲𝗲 just death realmed him.
Yeah, and there's no follow-up from 𝗘𝗀𝗽𝗪 because he was on 200 HP before the fight started. So he was not with the smartest call there to start the fight. In the end, it's just a little bit more gold for 𝗘𝗀𝗄𝗏𝗏, and a big shutdown for 𝗀, who's now going to be super tanky. That might actually help them against Style. If 𝗲𝗲 can keep Style occupied for a few seconds, and Style is not going for the full tank shredding build.
Or 𝗀. 𝗲𝗲 can't keep Style.
𝗀, of course. 𝗀. Yeah, sorry, 𝗀. If 𝗀 can keep Style occupied for a few more seconds, that might actually buy enough time for 𝗘𝗀𝗽𝗪 to bring the enemy front line down. And the enemy front line is just a support. So
it's hard though. Look at the item difference in these ADCs. We know there's a huge gold gap, obviously, but it is the Guinsoo's, the Essence Reaver, a Hex Drinker, and the Edge of Night complete for this Kai'Sa to just the Bork, Runins, and another Zeal. Maybe 𝗀 can get tanky enough, but he really only has that gargoyles. He hasn't built into any armor, so the lethality is still going to be super effective. It's looking a bit rough.
Oh, that is true.
Oh, as Style hits a W and just instantly dives forward, wants to find 𝗘𝗀𝗽𝗪, can't quite get him. Oh boy, this is the most It seems like I can imagine, obviously the observers listening to the Vietnamese cast. So I can imagine that the VCS casters are just like talking quite calmly about Style, and then off he goes. He's just zooming on in. But here we have another engaged. 𝗲𝗲 will get Tempered Fate, as here we have EVOS trying to make something happen. Into the Death Realm goes 𝗘𝗀𝗽𝗪 and 𝗲𝗲. And can Style get into this fight? He gets locked up. This is a disaster here. The Kai'Sa is going to go down. It's ADC for ADC, but Hin's going to go with him as well. And this could be the 𝗏𝗏 finally losing a big fight, but 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧 is huge. Jumps over the wall. 𝗲𝗲 now has those stats from the Death Realm. And 𝗏𝗏𝗏 is still very scary. They're turning it back around, and it's going to be 𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗏 with a massive health bar advantage. Can they get anything done? 𝗬𝗏 is trying to do it all. He uses the clone, but here comes 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧. The cat has pounced, and that kitty's got claws. Parquet goes gold, but it doesn't matter. And 𝗬𝗏 is the only man left standing, and 𝗏𝗏𝗏 is on the hunt.
EVOS had this fight easily. Oh, wow. Okay, he almost turned this around. But the target calling was not great in this latter half. They split their attention, and then suddenly 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧 on a lot of items was able to fight back. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 also stayed alive and was able to contribute some damage from behind. So very bad target calling. I think they could have just all turned on 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧 and probably killed him there. That he bounced over the wall and got B, and then all of them died in the end. That's going to be the second Baron of the game. This one should really break open some of the game here.
Yeah, absolutely.
The soul is spawning right now, and I think 𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 has just given up the soul.
It's only a
no replay. No, okay.
Oh, bad timing on the replay for sure, but this was a big fight. Let's see how it happened. Focus your eyes on Style and 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. They're the big ones. Of course, 𝗲𝗲 hunted down 𝗘𝗀𝗽𝗪. That's not hard.
𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗧. Yeah, 𝗀 and 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏, very nice coordination to catch Style. Hin is also dead, but now look at this. They get the knockoff on... They don't actually get the knockoff on 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. There was I think 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 was super close to getting the knockout there, and they have to kill 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 because he is not only contributing with damage, he can also heal. Oh, wow.
But here we go, and it was the soul secured. Don't know how that happened. It wasn't a very well-timed replay there, VTV, but hey. It happens, no worries. But it is now Baron Buff and Mountain Soul for the 𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. And I will say, our Discord prediction game had 100% of people picking EVOS. And boy oh boy, do we look a little bit silly right now. Of course it is only game one. There is plenty of time to come back, as here is another fight. 𝗬𝗓𝗏 takes some damage. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 goes in with the Q. Where Style, he's managing to kite away. 𝗕𝘂𝗡𝗏𝗏 hits 3 and saves a lot of time for 𝗬𝗏. Can they get onto this 𝗘𝗀𝗧? I don't think so. He dives forward using the wall well. Has to flash instantly. He might have gone a little bit too aggressive, but now it's on 𝗕𝗏𝗏 to get the damage carry. 3v5, but the health bars for EVS aren't looking particularly good. Can the cat find a way in? He's gone so aggressive. Now 𝗏𝗏𝗏 gets one. 𝗬𝗏 trying to chase off Hin. Manages it. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 on the front line. He's got so much damage to deal. Can he do enough? He cannot. And now it's only 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 left standing. 𝗬𝗏 is going to hunt him down. And EVS get the ace.
Against Mountain Soul and Baron stats. Wow, EVS is really fighting back here, and EVS showing their prowess in team fighting. They have been quietly one of the best team fighting teams in the last 2 weeks. Very good coordination, and 𝗬𝗏 is really popping off on this Wukong. Somehow staying alive with the 8 of B's ultimate, of course, buying so much time. And look at his HP bar. He somehow made it back to full HP after the fight. Keep your eyes on 𝗬𝗏. He drops very low in this fight. He actually, that was actually his clone. So he's not super low in the start. I missaw that. I mistook him for his clone. He immediately jumps on Style. Yep, Style just really trying to play Assassin 𝗘𝗀𝗧, but it's not the way to go in this composition. There's so many threats. Perfect cleanse from 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Shout out to him. Great play for 𝗏𝗏𝗏. But then it's just a little bit too deep. They miss Style, their main carry, and 𝗏𝗏𝗏 gets close to carrying this fight. In the end, another super important minor mechanic. 𝗀 getting 350 HP back. A nicely timed triumph there. So in the end, that kept him alive. That enabled him to get on top of 𝗏𝗏𝗏 before 𝗏𝗏𝗏 could reset and get every single kill on the back half. Very close fight. Very small little intricacies there made this happen.
I want to shout out 𝗬𝗏 as well. He's a pretty big monkey. And he was zoning 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 out the entire second half of that fight. If 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 had been able to get past 𝗬𝗏, he probably carries the back half. But he couldn't. And we have honestly, a pretty insane game. Go ahead.
Once 𝗘𝗀𝗽𝗏𝗏 finishes his next item, he's going to deal more damage than Style. Style, I think, has kind of lost to the shopkeeper in this game, in my opinion at least. He's not going for a nice, good synergy in his build. He has built nice items for 𝗘𝗀𝗧. All of these items are cool, but they don't really synergize well. So we have another engage from the EVS. They want to get in here.
That they do, as here we go. There's a 𝗕𝗂𝗏𝗏𝗏 onto 2. It's Style and 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 that go gold. 𝗬𝗏 is engaging. He is spinning. He's winning. Hin is the first one to fall. Can it be traded onto 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏? It can, but 𝗏𝗏𝗏 pays for it with his life. Style is so low, and he finally goes down as 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 and 𝗬𝗏𝗏 with it all to do. The 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 does his best, but it's not enough, and it looks like the worm has turned, and EVS is back in control.
It certainly has. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Buffalo is doing the same mistake they did in the second video. I was pointing out their game against GUM. They are focusing way too hard on the enemy ADC when the enemy ADC is not the important part in this team composition. They are really tunnel visioning on the enemy, or tunneling on the enemy ADC, trying to assassinate him. 20 seconds, yeah. If they are aggressive, this could be the game here. It looks like EVS wants to turn away though. Yeah, they don't have an ADC here, so it's a little bit risky. I think it's the right call, honestly. Yeah, it would have been very risky to go for the game. Parker very low. If he gets caught by anything there from 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 to Hin, he probably dies, and then you lose another Baron, most likely. So.
Yeah, I think backing off was the right call. But yeah, no, you're completely
correct. The first
correct.
in this game is broken by EVS, not by Saigon Buffalo.
And I mean, we have to praise Style. He massively improved his lane phase this game, but again, he's not navigating these team fights properly. He's still getting a lot of damage dealt, but that's just on the back of being fed. He just presses Q and it does the work. His positioning's not great. Let's watch him in this one. He is so important. He's dealing a lot of damage, but once again, it's only to 𝗀. Then he gets Bard ulted, and it's donezo because the monkey finds him. Yeah, he tries to reposition. AoE it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is playing Assassin Jace as well, just trying to kill the enemy ADC. And as I just pointed out, the enemy ADC is not the important part. You need to kill 𝗬𝗏. 𝗬𝗏 is dealing more damage, has more CC, is way more slippery. You need to deal with 𝗬𝗏 somehow. Killing 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 really doesn't do much. Yeah. Now 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 has actually really doubled down on getting killed. He's just bought his GA, so he really doesn't want to go down again.
Taking some damage, but 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is now split out. This is a very, very split fight. Style trying to deal the damage. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 might go down. In fact, he definitely will. And there's the Bard ult to catch Style out. And it's 2 kills for 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. His birthday's being redeemed. And it looks like Saigon Buffalo have thrown him a lovely party, if you know what I mean, as now Hin pulls the trigger on the Pantheon ult. This is actually a good distraction, as he's just going to run away. They want to chase him instead of pushing to end the game.
Minions.
Yeah, exactly. This is actually very smart from Hin. He'll die for it, but he buys enough time that the game does not end, and he eventually dies. He's a big Spartan. That was very smart.
Play.
But
play from him.
It doesn't matter, as look at the timers, Yulwei. What timers do we have? The big purple worm already engaged, and who's going to be joining us on the Rift very soon? Ooh, this could be a bit dangerous. 𝗲𝗏 is a little caught. Can, of course, run to his team. Here comes Froggy dealing the damage, but all of the spears are missing from 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧, and now they need to be careful. 𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏 on the map.
Yeah, Ultimate Dragon has arrived too. So is he going to fall to EVS? EVS is pretty low in terms of HP bars. They have teleport on 𝗲𝗏 and 𝗂𝗏𝗏 though, so shouldn't be able to give this one up. 𝗘𝗀𝗢𝗦 is back on the map. Everyone but Hin alive. So I think EVS should just try to catch someone here and get the other dragon for free.
There it is. The Tempered Fate comes in. Froggy is the one caught. He's on the run, but there's no chance. And 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏 gets caught by 𝗕𝗂𝗃𝗍𝗃's arrow, and I believe we are seeing the end of the Buffalo as they have been run down. This was an interesting early game for sure, but in the end, it was EVS who will clean it up. No questions asked. Style could not do enough on this 𝗘𝗪𝗧. The minion wave pushes in. This will be it very soon.
And mechanically, we've seen some very cool plays, but this one might be the last stand.
I believe so. They're going to try it. This is the two most fed members of the Buffalo to try and hold it off, but it doesn't matter. They collapse back on Style, and this will be the Nexus being pushed in. And despite some early game woes, and definitely some things EVS need to reflect on, their carries came in when it counted. 𝗲𝗏 had a fantastic game, as did 𝗂𝗏𝗏, and they will take game 1 here. A very good situation for them, no question. Of course.
And Saigon Buffalo once again so close and yet so far. This has been the story of the whole split for Saigon Buffalo. So many games have looked close, even against better teams, against Cerberus, against 𝗃𝗃, now against EVS, and in the end they always lose. And it has to do with the way they play team fights, the way they tunnel vision on just killing the enemy ADC. We are not in Season 7 anymore.
Well,
killing the enemy ADC.
Yulwei. We'll be able to talk more about that in depth. Don't want you to use all your analysis right yet. That's why I'm cutting you off. We will be going to a short break. Yep. We'll come back soon with our full analytical power when Vinnie rejoins us. We're going to a little break, and then we'll be seeing Game 2 of EVS versus Buffalo. We hope you're enjoying the show here on VCS English. We'll be back very, very soon. Welcome back, everybody, as we are back now for Game 2. And once again, the Buffalo certainly threw a birthday party for 𝗘𝗀𝗽𝗦 tonight, as EVOS did take Game 1. Despite a very big early game lead for Style, he could not carry it over the line. That said, of course, it wasn't only EVOS, it wasn't only the Buffalo making mistakes. EVOS made very good plays of their own. Now, we did decide on MVP for Game 1. There was some contention, to say the least, but in the end, I believe we decided on 𝗲𝗏. So
yeah,
that Wukong was pretty crucial.
It was sort of a case of we were sort of kind of bullying out Yulwei, who was a very strong advocate for Sorn. And look, Sorn absolutely deserves an honorable mention, but 𝗲𝗏 carried the turnaround fight, and that was basically the.
What you don't understand, Yulwei, is that me and Vinny, we have to go for the Wukong because ape together strong. Ape together strong.
I don't really disagree. I think Wukong played a very, very good game. I was just very impressed with this 𝗘𝗀𝗎𝗓 because we haven't seen her much, and picking 𝗘𝗀𝗎𝗓 into Nidalee is so dangerous, right? If you fail to execute good ganks, you just fall behind. You never get really tanky. You can't do anything. Nidalee just runs away with the game. And Zorn is a legacy 𝗘𝗀𝗎𝗓 player, so it makes sense for him to pick up this one. And he looked so good in team fights. His target axis, his ultimates, the timing after the bot stun in the last team fight, perfect.
Yeah.
And also, I just think this was a game for the supporting cast. We had top lane, jungle, and support popping off in team fights, and the other two were, I guess, they were there to contribute a little bit of damage.
I mean, tivkid had some very nice arrows, which is
tivkid
about all he could do from behind.
He kind of was a support too in this game, to be honest.
Like tivkid was looking very nice with his big red target painted on him, like "Hello, I'm over here," and while Zero springs havoc in the backline. But yeah, I was actually in the early game looking at the comps and thinking, this might be difficult for Zorn because there's only one other melee champion for him to really work with on his passive. Didn't matter. It didn't matter.
His ultimates, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to also talk a little bit about the early game for Saigon Buffalo, because, of course, in the end, they threw. It's once again a very frustrating game to look at. They are probably going to get tilted from this one, might get blown out in the next game. But there were aspects in the early game that were very well executed, well practiced. I really liked the bot lane execution. Those dives were clean. We have seldom seen such clean dives, right? Perfect turret tanking, turret juggling, double kill back to back to back. So yeah, I was very impressed with the early game. I want to see more of that.
Yeah, I agree. Looking forward to the next game, though. Of course, we do have to see if EVOS can close this one out. Let's talk from the Buffalo point of view. Yeah, Style got off to a really good lead. They put a lot of resources into him, and it worked in the early game, but he once again demonstrated he's just not good enough in team fights. Do they pivot back to put it all into 𝗬𝗓𝗏? Because 𝗬𝗓𝗏, let's be real, he got manhandled.
Yeah, he really did.
Yeah, I think you actually go back and you actually try and do the same sort of thing and get Style rolling, but give him a safer carry to do that.
Yes.
Give him,
So,
Caitlyn.
he can't put him on, if he's on Caitlyn or Ezreal or something, he can't just hard into the backline. He doesn't have a "I'm in your backline now" button for, to be eaten by a big monkey in the top lane.
I really think this last game and some of the earlier games that I talked about in the last cast really revealed an underlying problem that made Style actually look worse than he is. I think he still is one of the worst ADCs in the league, but I think it gets exacerbated by the fact that his team is really bad at target calling in team fights. So I want them to go back to the drawing board. I want them to go back to very simple front-to-back team compositions. And if they can play those, they can go to the next step and try some harder to execute comps.
Yeah.
Because right now, Saigon Buffalo is a decent team when it comes to their players. They are a decent team in the early game, but they are horrible in team fights. Their target calling in team fights is the worst of the league. I think they're worse than OPG when it comes to that aspect.
But we'll have to find out.
I really want to see them
We'll have to find
get
out if
simpler.
Something easier here in draft. So I didn't mean to cut your point off, but we do have to flick over.
All good.
As here come the bands. Once again, it's looking very similar to game one. Will we see the huge ADC focus out of EVOS again? Of course, the sides have now swapped.
You definitely can't do the same sort of level here because Buffalo has that first pick. So if you hit the champion pool too hard, they just first pick it.
I'm actually very interested to see what Wukong and his counters bring to the table in this game, because 𝗬𝗏𝗏 is a really big proponent of Wukong, and of course, Zeros, the only one in our league who has actually brought out the Hecarim counter pick. So you might see the Hecarim. Yeah, we might see Horse again. I would enjoy Horse.
I'd love some
Horse has been a very nice addition to EVOS. I think he's a lot better than that Zeros guy.
No. I mean, his KDA is really good. So
it turns out when you play a horse, there's lots of room to carry your team. You just pop on.
If you need a back to carry, just add more back. That's Perfect.
I just realized with Lilia's release, we got even more. We got even more animals in the league. We
Yep.
could get a full animal comp next
I
time.
think we need to be having a bit of a talk to 𝗂𝗄𝗻 and Nico about how Lilia came to be. But let's not focus too much on the 𝗂𝗄𝗻, because it doesn't look like it's going to get played, as the 𝗘𝗪𝗢 first pick means we're going back to the zoo. 𝗧𝘂𝗎 is going to be a monkey once more. I'll have to hope it's only in-game. What do we see from Sorn? Does he go to the Sejuani again? It was good. It was weird, but it was good.
I don't think he picks it this early, honestly. I think it's ADC time or support time here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
I think you grab an AD carry. Varus, yeah, that's fine. Interested to see what
Might be on
he
hit
builds.
Varus. Yeah.
I mean, I would have liked Dash again. Sure, he had a rough game last time, but it's a lot better. It's a good matchup into the.
Oh.
And that's not a good sign.
Oh.
You just lost that matchup. Why are you doing it again? Does this mean they're going to put jungle attention top?
Yeah, maybe he feels
out?
better on blue side, because blue side is harder to gank, right? So
Yeah.
maybe he'll
There
feel
is that.
safer on blue side, so this could be an aspect. I really don't like it. Oh my god. Hey, Vinnie, how do you feel about this golden draft so far?
Okay, so I don't actually hate the set pick here. Well, okay, I
course
do
the
hate the
set's
set
good.
pick on the
I knew it.
on the basis that there is still counter pick available. If they lock in this Braum, set's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I think they completely wasted their opportunities with Braum. If you'd picked a Karma support or a range support of any kind, set's useless.
Bard?
Set becomes garbage. Bard, yeah, you could have gone Bard. I wasn't super impressed with B's Bard, but I guess I've been
I thought it was
spoiled,
pretty
so-
good. I thought his ults were pretty sick.
Interesting.
I
His
think- I
ults
think-
are really good.
I think
It
he
was-
didn't necessarily utilize the stuns to the full potential, but I think the ults were good.
Okay, look, it was fine, but I've been spoiled.
Yeah, true. We have.
Yeah, we've seen Slay. We've seen Slay and
We've
Rono
seen
to be
Slay,
fair.
we've seen Ron OP. I watched the LPL. I've seen Lu Mao.
Yeah, fair enough.
And PP God. Yeah.
And PP God, yeah. So
Praise
I
PP
am.
God. We're not even in the LPL, but praise your PP gods in chat.
Are you a PP leaver? I'm a PP lever.
I'm a PP leader.
I don't want to be a PP lever because.
Don't stop. Stop.
Alright.
Let's get back to the
We'll
draft.
get
You
into
stop.
that later. So
So the Braum, I just want to point out, is of course B's most played champ, at least this season. He had an insane amount of Braum games in the spring split. He had almost 20 games in one split, and you have to consider 20 games is more than NA or EU players even get to play in the regular season. And he played all of those games on one champion. He's really the Braum specialist, and of course gives 𝗘𝗀𝗻𝗃 a lot of safety too. So yeah. I don't really like the Braum this early. I guess they didn't want to reveal the rest of their draft.
This also could
Yeah,
still be.
I
but
think
This isn't necessarily support set. This could still be jungle set. Just putting that out there.
it could be, but I think jungle set is actually trash.
Yeah.
Not just mostly trash.
You really likes jungle set for some
They
reason.
do like jungle trash. That's why Jankos is their best jungle. I don't even think he is anymore. I don't pay it. I don't watch EU.
Sorn gets
So
Sorn gets his Trundle. That's a very strong pickup, and there's a Jace as well, presumably for Froggy.
Okay.
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 Garm has entered the server. They're copying
Is this-
the big boys.
Is this jungle or is this actually mid lane? We know Froggy, right? Froggy is the
No,
AP
true.
Shyvana mid lane
That's true.
specialist.
Froggy does play AP Shyvana mid, but
So,
I think
okay,
this
but
has to
then-
be jungle.
then you're looking at what? Jace
They support. Yeah, okay, you're right. Jungle,
Marta
yeah.
is not in this game.
I think Mordecai's a jungle. He can clear the jungle. No, this is going to be Shyvana jungle.
That's true. That's true. It's super bad, but he can clear the jungle.
I set the bar very low for a reason. But no, of course, this is the obvious layout of the Buffalo comp. Before we dive into talking about the very interesting things that Buffalo have picked, Yulwei, how about you give us a brief rundown of EVOS? What do you think of this draft? I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah, Oriana and Varus and honestly, all 5 champs are just strong meta champs right now. I like this comp. Very good team fighting. EVOS is very good at team fighting. So yeah, let's go.
Yep, and Vinny, how about you talk to us about this very interesting Buffalo comp? We've seen Garm play similar things, but do you think the Buffalo can execute it the same way?
So look, I don't mind the comp so much, but I think they really screwed up their pick order. especially considering they picked those 4 and 5 after seeing Braum. You have opted into a pick comp against Braum, which is
That's
never
true.
a good thing.
Hmm.
So I think they a little bit outdrafted themselves, especially, and then when you include the top lane that didn't go so well last time,
Yeah.
it's looking quite rough. But again, I do want to see them try and push, make moves bot lane, try and get Style and Hin going, and I think you might still have that chance through there. But team fighting is going to be difficult just because poke into Braum, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's very
The
risky.
problem I see here, talking about the bot lane dice, it's so much harder on this side of the map
it is.
and without the niddly jumps. So don't see early dice happening, and then Braum level 6. Ooh, that's so hard to dive. So
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
also
like
true.
Now, Vinny, give us your prediction. The Buffalo's strange comp going to work, or is this EVOS getting a 2-0?
No, as I said, I think they're gonna struggle in team fights, which they already do just naturally, and they've outdrafted themselves.
Yep, fair enough. I hate to make you repeat yourself, but I do have to lock your prediction
on here?
in, as there is a bit of a level 1. We're very zoomed in, as 𝗂𝗃 has to flash away, but all of the boys follow, and 𝗧𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗧 dead.
oh, what a start! This is so cool from EVOS. So this matchup is still a counter on paper, but we just saw Zeros wipe the floor with 𝗂𝗃 in lane after getting an early assistance from his jungler. And in draft, you talked about, okay, it's harder this time to gank the 𝗘𝗀𝗀𝗧 because it's the different side of the map, right? So instead of investing time in the game, they invest time before the game even really starts and set up such a cool trap play. They get the flash from 𝗂𝗃. They give Zeros the kill. Zeros is now 400 gold more, and he didn't need to flash. This was so well orchestrated.
The only way they could have set 𝗂𝗃 behind earlier was if, after draft, someone had ran over to his computer and punched him in the nose.
This feels at least as bad, to be honest.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd rather get punched.
This is such a cool play.
At least if I get
Honestly.
punched, Zeros isn't further ahead of me. I've just got a blood nose.
And you have to consider how Zeros needs to go buy 𝗀𝗏 something after this game, because 𝗀𝗏 started E for him, then Zeros didn't give him a pull, so 𝗀𝗏 just had to solo his red buff without an ability.
Down in the bot lane, we've got a bit of damage coming out. Style deals a lot, but not quite enough to kill.
So we have had so many level 1 trades today in the bot lane. People really disrespecting 𝗘𝗀𝗧 and her lane partners.
Yep.
Interestingly enough, it's actually a late game 𝗘𝗀𝗧 with a lethal tempo instead
that's
of the
very
Hail of Blades.
interesting.
Speaking of lethal tempo, there's another lethal tempo in this bot lane.
Yeah, okay. Oh, good God.
Your favorite.
I just don't get it. Varus is, like, really broken on the patch, but not this Varus.
So, to be honest, there is the biggest advantage this Varus build has over other crit ADCs is his economy is so much better. Every back is a good back for Varus. He can force backs against crit ADCs whenever he wants. Then just itemize long swords.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
everyone is very fast in the mid lane.
Well, that's lethality Varus, though.
Right, but that is not really the case into 𝗘𝗀𝗧, because 𝗘𝗀𝗧 can itemize very cheap items too, right? She goes for all her components are long swords, daggers, so the economy is not really the advantage there for lethality Varus. So I think that's
Speaking
the
of
reason.
advantages, you know what else is a big advantage? A jungler. As here comes 𝗀𝗏 Style has already been stunned up. He's just going to go for the trade kill, but can't manage it. Hin wasn't running during that for some reason. That's a horrible call. He does get the facebreaker stun, but it doesn't matter. 𝗀𝗏 gets the double kill. And, Peng, if you're watching, you might want to start getting your graphics ready, mate.
Yeah, and 𝗀𝗏 has really earned these 2 kills after such a rough jungle start. He did everything to bring Zeros ahead, then had to jungle without an ability at the first levels and gets a nice double kill. Second Buffalo's bot lane, a little bit oblivious to the gank path of 𝗀𝗏. Very nice wraparound. Avoided getting seen on the wards there.
Why is Hin hitting anyone? Hin, run!
Why is he not running away? That is the big question here.
Surely it's obvious. Like, Style made the right decision. Just go for the Hail Mary. Yeah, maybe you won for 1. He was dead. Fair enough. But Hin, get the hell out of there, man. What are you doing?
Yeah. I said before the game started, this might be a little bit of a tilt game, and
Yeah.
it certainly looks like one. Good moves from EVOS, though. Definitely not all the credit just to 𝗘𝗀𝗄𝗏𝗧's mistakes. Very good moves, especially from 𝗀. He has improved so much from the start of the split to this one, to this week. And when 𝗀 and Zeros are in form, this is the EVOS we expected to see.
Yeah.
𝗘𝗀𝗽𝗓 still good, B still good, 𝗬𝗏 is still very solid in the mid lane. Suddenly they don't have any weaknesses and are such a solid team all around the game.
Again, we ranked them number 1 in our preseason power rankings for a reason. We looked at this team and said, they don't have weaknesses. They didn't show us that early on. They slipped very far down in the power rankings, but now that everyone's back in form, maybe they can start showing that they do deserve to be taken very, very seriously. As Buffalo,
For sure.
at least get the first Drake. That's very nice for 𝗕𝗀𝗧. He's very happy about that. The contest is just too late. But do they want to take a fight off the back of it? Yep, the traffic cone goes up, and Hin, you can put the gun show on all you like. Throw all the haymakers you want. But you know what, mate? There's a reason we don't swing haymakers in boxing.
And 𝗘𝗀𝗄𝗏𝗧 is really not giving 𝗘𝗀𝗽𝗓 his birthday presents. 𝗘𝗀𝗽𝗓 had the kill locked down. It was definitely 𝗘𝗀𝗽𝗓's kill, but then he just pressed haymaker and was like, and 𝗘𝗀𝗽𝗓 is like, seriously, dude, you're dead anyway. Can't you give it just to me? And 𝗬𝗏𝗽 comes around way too late to the play. Is like, thank you very much.
And up in top lane,
I like this kill.
we did have a Cyclone being used. Zeros very aggressive, but here comes the Death Realm. This is a little bit dodgy here. 𝗬𝗏𝗡, does he have his shield? I'm not sure, but he does have a flash Q. And with the auto attack, he cleans up the solo kill.
Big mistake from Zeros there, disrespecting the experience coming in from dying minions. And with the Death Realm, he was dead either way. Either he dies 1-1 or the ganks come in. So Zeros throwing away a lot of his early advantage. They set him up for success, and so far, he kind of has failed to succeed in this lane. Luckily enough, on the other parts of the map, EVOS is still winning hard.
Yeah, that is... at least it's a boon back, right? That's a bit of confidence for 𝗬𝗏𝗡 after that disastrous level 1. But let's have a look at how this plays out. It's just not quite enough damage. He had a Seekers.
Which minion gets him to level 6?
It'll be the second one. It'll be the second one that dies to pass.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's just oversight from Zeros. Not focused on
Very
the minions dying.
Though. So it's not as easy to do that as you might think.
Kind of unnecessary, to be honest, because 𝗕𝗀𝗧 was there anyway. But I mean, you always want to secure the kill in the end.
Yep.
Exposes him a little bit in lane though, because Zeros still has his flash available, so there might be another attempt, especially because the
speaking of which, though,
Hin
is very upset again, but he manages to get away this time, but burns his flash. Of course, the one boon that a 𝗕𝗏𝗧 has is, yeah, you used your flash, but the Death Realm has a pretty short cooldown. It's already 3/4 of the way back up. You can't gank him.
Yeah, there's a very short timing advantage for Zeros' ult, so if he immediately goes in, it's probably not going to happen because he's not even in the same lane as the 𝗕𝗏𝗧, so I'll just cut that point, and we have a much more important bot lane dive.
Here we go. 𝗕𝗀𝗧 has activated the Dragon form, wants to be throwing out those E nukes, but really hasn't got any AP yet, doesn't even have the runic echoes on his jungle item, so they are very piddly. He walks back into his jungles, and it's, here comes Zeros, as he pops the Cyclone as well. This is 𝗘𝗀𝗄𝗏𝗧 being ripped apart. Can they get under the tower to get Froggy? I think he knows that even a big frog can't jump out of this one. But with the Chains of Corruption missing, do they want to go back in? It's not even a question. Of course they do. Can he get anything out of this one? Zeros is low, but not low enough.
In the end, it's traded against 2 platings, but of course 2 kills and 2 platings is much better. As well as you pretty much don't really care about the 𝗕𝗏𝗧 in this composition. 𝗕𝗏𝗧 is just going to be there and be annoying, but he's not really giving the enemy team any kind of win condition, so it makes a lot of sense for EVOS to just disregard top lane, go for another dive. Now 2.5k gold ahead, once again showing us they're super strong early game. They've improved so much in this part of the game. And yeah, now it's looking like a very easy way to victory. 4-0 on the tank jungler again. 𝗀 really popping off today.
Yeah, it's looking very, very good. 𝗀, as you said, this Trundle has been fantastic. It's a jungler he's had a lot of success on. The Buffalo are starting up a Rift Herald here, and once again, EVOS are a little bit late to the play, but they are here in time. 𝗀𝗏 wants to get the smite, and of course he gets it. The man's redeeming himself. 𝗕𝗂𝗧 roars his way out of the immediate fight, but B getting pulled in. He's got a lot of spears in him. The 𝗬𝗂𝗪𝗂 doesn't do enough. Fantastic flash, as you said, but the health bars are just too low. 𝗬𝗂𝗪 is in the death realm with 𝗘𝗀𝗽𝗦. He wants to hunt him down, but that's going to be running out very soon. Does he even get the 1 kill? He does, but he'll pay for it with his life.
So in the end, better trade than expected for 𝗘𝗀𝗡𝗡, but they still lose everything as they lose the most important part of this fight, the Herald. That's now going to get used to break even more turret plates. You can use it bot lane to immediately get the turret. You can use it mid lane to get 2 plates and soften up the turret for the next Herald. Possibilities all across the map. And they have advantages in almost every lane, maybe besides top lane. So it's very easy for the support to go anywhere. We see just a very solid smite from 𝗀. He's so tanky. He's a level down compared to 𝗕𝗂𝗧, but it really doesn't look that way. 𝗀 is almost a super tank already at level 6.
I mean, I'd have to watch that replay again because I wasn't tracking it. I think he subjugated 𝗕𝗂𝗧, who's actually quite tanky because they have dragons. Like, that's a lot of tank stats.
He did subjugate 𝗕𝗂𝗧.
And that's a lot of tank stats because of the Shyvana passive with dragons.
Yeah, and we've seen so many AP Shyvanas in our league because of Levi, of course. And last season, a lot of other junglers did that too. And we know if she doesn't get going early, it's very hard for her to do anything. Mm-hmm. She has a solid CS advantage. She was ahead in levels as well. And will probably jump ahead soon as well, or once again. But it's not going to do much because she really relies on items too. She needs more AP. Mm-hmm. So far, really failed to have a big impact.
Yeah,
other than the first dragon.
This Jace Shyvana comp is something we've seen multiple times, but it's only 𝗀𝗏 playing it, and the reason 𝗀𝗏 can do it is they always get early game leads. Their players, we say this, we criticize 𝗀𝗏 quite a lot, but there's no question that their top side is the best in the league. 𝗕𝗂𝗏, Levi, and 𝗘𝗧𝗏 are fearsome. 𝗘𝗀𝗡𝗡 as style is just dead. There's not even point diverting.
And 𝗃 probably too.
Yeah, maybe he can get to 𝗕𝗂𝗧. Let's see if he goes down. Yeah, no, he's dead. 𝗕𝗂𝗧 doesn't even want to save him. That's another 2 kills for EVOS, and they are flying ahead. And as I was saying, 𝗀𝗏 is not often 5k down this early in the game, which makes the comp work. Oh, the prediction on the shockwave gets both of them. Doesn't quite do enough, as 𝗘𝗏𝗡𝗡 is actually in a fair bit of trouble. He was absolutely breaking ankles, though, as he's trying to run. The Death Grasp will land, and the Death Realm is used. He gets around the wall, though. 𝗬𝗏𝗡 uses the flash, probably had to kill him in time, and there's the shutdown.
Oh, poor 𝗘𝗏𝗡. He played this so well. Oh, such a cool move.
That was
in the end, he paid with his life, but the game is pretty much over already, so he can do whatever he wants. By the way, Hint's last death gave the enemy team 176 gold. That's how useful he has been. That's when you type in all chat bot diff.
I mean,
from probably 𝗬𝗏𝗡.
I mean, I don't have our Discord call open at the moment, so I can't see the cameras, but I imagine if I did, Vinnie would just be sitting there with little maracas, with the party hat on, saying, yeah, you picked set and you failed. Because he has some choice words for the set pick, let's be real. And the bot lane is 0 and 7 and 0. Style, well,
yep.
You got one good game, mate, and you didn't convert it. Now you're back.
I think we have to see if that's negative gaming going on the enemy bot lane. There is a very bad game so far from 𝗘𝗀𝗡𝗡. After Style just popped off in the early game, the last game, now he's back to 0-3, back to already getting outscaled and outplayed big time. And Hin really hasn't added much for sure. Added much for the enemy team. Front runner for MVP in this game. If you want to be mean.
Yeah, at the moment it looks like Set's done something to annoy Vince McMahon, so he has to lose all of his matches. It's alright, I know you don't get that. You don't have to fake laugh at that one. But here we have a play in the top side. There are 3 members of EVOS around it. We're just powering through. And Style and Hin are safe for now, as the rest of the team does come and reinforce. But, I mean, is there a chance here, Yulwei? To me, it looks like they're a kitten in a Hessian bag at the bottom of a river.
So let's look at this. Just looking at the comms. So there's no time for that. Ffroggy is probably dead again.
Ffroggy is in a lot of trouble. I'm
He's
sorry.
so fast,
I saw Vinnie's face. You need to come.
At least he can run fast.
I've lost it. I'm sorry.
So, can they come back from this? They have a poke composition against Braum, who's super strong, against Trundle, who can kind of cut off the ways to escape, and against a good engage in Varus and Zeros. So, very unlikely. Meliodas kind of has to get a miracle triple kill or something to really accelerate. Seems kind of useless on this AP Shyvana. Only 15 CS ad, that's not good enough when you look at the other jungler and he's 4-0-5 on a very useful fighting jungler.
I think it's also worth pointing out they've picked Jace for Ffroggy 2 games in a row, and I said it in the first game, I didn't repeat it, maybe I should have. Ffroggy doesn't win lane. He never wins lane. Why are you picking him Jace that kind of has to win lane?
I feel like his Jace in the first game was decent.
It was fine, but...
𝗀𝗏 is tanky, guys. 𝗀𝗏 is very tanky, guys.
Is very, very tanky, but with the suplex, they powerbomb him back. They're trying to finish him off, but there's the heal. And they don't even kill the Trundle that they committed so many resources onto. Ffroggy dives in, maybe not respecting the teleport too much, but he gets away. Oh boy, this is looking rough.
Yeah, at least they force flash from Sanson. Didn't even have his ultimate to get tankier there. It's indictment of the lack of damage there for 𝗘𝗀𝗄𝗧. They already struggled to kill one member and give up the Herald afterwards because all their abilities were in cooldown now. Can Ffroggy see? Ooh, close enough. Close enough. Good attempt. Good attempt. But the dragon is now getting pinged by EVOS. They want to get the dragon too, so Swan is probably going to reset here immediately. Yeah, he's already in base, so running straight at dragon, not giving up any objectives. Instead, they will probably going to go to dragon and then use Herald in the mid lane, or the other way around, whatever they like. Yeah, because they are so far ahead, and now Swan has his ultimate, so even though he doesn't have his flash, he's probably unkillable for the enemy team.
And the Buffalo are trying to get the rush down on this dragon, but Swan is already here. Do you want to go? It is a 50-50. It's level 9 to level 9, but look at the damage Meliodas is just taking from the dragon. Swan has to come in. Husmed could Death Realm him, but didn't even smite. What just happened? Neither jungler had smite, and they just, okay, Buffalo get the Drake. Ffroggy's going to die to Zeros, though. That was weird.
Very weird. But at least a good play for 𝗘𝗀𝗄𝗧. They actually recognized that the reset took a little bit too long. Swan also spent some time in the jungle instead of running straight to the dragon. So they get the dragon. Swan also no smite to contest this, really. A little bit lucky for Meliodas. If Swan went... I think Swan probably thought Meliodas had smite, so he didn't want to go for the steal because the probability was super low with no smite into smite. If he went for it, maybe he could have gotten it, but in the end, it's still 2 turrets, or 1 turret, and a kill. So more goals for EVOS. Look at the gold lead. It's 8k at 17 minutes.
It's brutal. It is brutal. And the EVOS resurgence is certainly continuing as Zeros is just trying to show off, and he's out of there. They even committed a teleport to that. They did 200 damage. Good job, guys.
That was one of the strangest flashes I've seen. Very interesting angle.
Yeah,
but it works out in the end. Another turret to EVOS, as we see. What
apparently
happened
there was a solo kill.
Ffroggy.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah, we saw that. The tail end. Yeah, we caught the tail end of this one. Ffroggy just using Q to clear the wave. Probably not his smartest decision. Immediately regrets that one. Well, it's too late. He gives up another kill. And Zeros quietly, after a little bit of failure in the early laning phase, giving up a solo kill to Husmed, is now 3-1-3 again. Super strong on the Wukong. 2 games in a row, he blind picked Wukong in the top lane, and enemy team failed to really counterpick him. So I guess you can do that against 𝗘𝗀𝗄𝗧 now.
This is one of the most 𝗘𝗀𝗄𝗧 scorelines I've ever seen. Husmed 3-2, trying to get his team to stay in it. Meliodas holding his own, hasn't done much, but he's not inting 0-3-0-3-0-4. Buffalo!
Oh, man. And Ffroggy looked decent in the first game. It's really sad to see him fall like this. I really like 𝗘𝗂𝗽𝗓 Orianna. I mean, I'm always a fan of Orianna. I think she's just such a strong champion right now. You can slot her in every single composition, and she always does her job. She always zones away enemy targets. So, big fan. Just pick Orianna all the time. Can even blind her if you want.
Totally.
But yeah, he has just controlled the lane, hasn't really done much in the lane, but is now contributing, is buffing up 𝗀, is making 𝗀 so much scarier even. If you run in with the ball on top of you, the enemy team has to back off, even from a 0 damage Trundle. So it's a very, very nice thing to have for 𝗀 to just run in. Same goes for 𝗬𝗓, who even contributes damage of his own. And there isn't really much 𝗬𝗏 can play for. Really big gold disadvantage. The soul isn't even... Oh, never mind.
Oh, but here we go. There is a team fight. B has taken a lot of damage. 𝗀 goes into the death realm with 𝗲𝗲med.
Oh,
but look at the healing from that ultimate. It shouldn't matter as 𝗲𝗲med should clean him up after the golden does end. 𝗕𝗂𝗍𝗪 got a kill as well. This is Buffalo potentially getting back into it as 𝗲𝗓 has now entered the fight. Big shield onto that set, but they can't deal with the monkey. And now Styles got to run. He gets knocked up. Can they turn this back around? Style taking so much damage. Look at 𝗲𝗓 ripping them up. This monkey has escaped the zoo. Someone call a zookeeper. He's on the loose. He's got a quadra kill. He's going to look for the penta. 𝗲𝗓.
Top lane pentakill! What? When was the last time we saw a top lane pentakill? What is this? 𝗬𝗓's coming in almost 1v5 in this fight. A little bit of assistance from the two supporters. And he gets the pentakill and really wants to get that serious MVP too after not doing much of this game so far. His team ends for him, so he can get all the credit. Pentakill for 𝗬𝗓 at 20 minutes. Can you believe it?
That is insane. Look at when he comes into the fight as well. This is going so well for the Buffalo. Oh, boy, oh boy. Look at it. He hasn't even entered the fight yet.
B just completely killed his ADC there. What the?
That was pretty bad.
B just decided that 𝗘𝗀𝗽𝗪 birthday present was that he would blast comb into the enemy team.
But here we go. Nice. Donkey Kong has arrived. And he's going to make this area of the jungle New Donk City. Let's see how he does it. This is so well played. There were a lot of mechanics going on here.
Absolutely. And 𝗘𝗂𝗪 had one combo. We had mana for one combo. The one combo he used was so crucial for getting 𝗬𝗓 the second kill. And afterwards, 𝗬𝗓 is full stacked on passive, full stacked on Conqueror. He deals so much damage. He uses his clone to not die in the initial counter play from the enemy team. And then it's just a pentakill. 11k gold lead, another dragon. And they got the Baron and the replay as well. So it's really just a victory lap. And it's just basically the question is, can we get another pentakill for someone else? Maybe a birthday present to 𝗘𝗧𝗧𝗧. Maybe a pentakill to him. Would be nice.
Oh, I don't know if my throat can handle that one, man. I blew a few vocal cords out with that one. I did not think they were going to be able to turn that one around. That was 3v5, essentially, when 𝗲𝗓 joined the fight. 𝗀, he's overstepped a little bit, as 𝗲𝗲med's going to hunt him down. He's just living up to his race. He is a troll, of course. Oh, he lives, though. Doesn't matter. It was all a clever bait. He lacked critical information. Here comes 𝗲𝗓 again. You can tell that he's pumped up. He might be a little bit too pumped as he does go down there. That was a bit silly, 𝗲𝗓. You got a little too hyped.
We're falling into troll land very fast.
Yes.
Just running it down from 𝗬𝗓. Not even just mid, just running it down between inhibitor turrets.
Yeah, that was a little bit special. Now Hin goes in, does get a big face breaker, pulls 3 back. He's going to keep charging forward. But oh my god! The shockwave was absolutely massive as 𝗘𝗂𝗪 gets a triple. And dear God, EVOS is just flexing on these nerds as all of them are popping off. How do we pick an MVP? It's going to be hard. Maybe it won't be. I think we all know. But regardless, all of them looking good. They can't quite end the game yet. But dear God, Yulwei.
What is going on? The end is really strong in this one. Both teams decide to just have a go at every fight they can see. And I mean, to be fair, Saigon Buffalo has no chance of winning this game anymore. So having a little bit of fun to close out the day, maybe calm down a little bit, prepare for the match tomorrow. It's not the worst call ever. They play against OPG tomorrow. That's the best chance to get a victory in a long time for Saigon Buffalo. So I feel like just having a little bit more fun here, cooling down, and then going home is maybe a good call for them.
Yeah, that makes some sense. But then again, it is a little bit unfun to play a game you're never ever going to win. 𝗀 is fighting against 𝗕𝗂𝗍𝗪 here, 2 levels down, but the Subjugate doing so much now that there is, of course, two drakes on the side of the Shyvana, including a mountain drake. But look who it is! We go to the mid lane, and it's the usual suspect. 𝗲𝗏 was ulting onto Star, couldn't quite finish him. The slow was good. The wave clear from Froggy buys some time as the dragon form is ripped out. The shield has already gone up, as the 𝗘𝗀𝗄𝗧 has as well. In the Death Realm are B and 𝗬𝗏, but they are both at opposite ends of it, and there will be no death there. 𝗕𝗂𝗪𝗔𝗍, he's not quite launching nukes, is he?
Yeah, there was 𝗕𝗂𝗪𝗔𝗍 E, and normally we are used to seeing these E chunk people down to 200 HP or something, but he is only tickling.
This is a
Not
very
sure what
different,
dragon he is.
This is a very different kind of Shyvana 𝗘𝗃𝗏, if people were to click this one.
Yeah, indeed. That's Shyvana 𝗘𝗃𝗏, whether it's lowercase, for sure.
Oh, and now the inhib has been cracked. The EVOS, I mean, they could just force a fight in the base and win. But I guess they're just going to take their time and lock everything up. Maybe try and get 𝗘𝗀𝗪𝗧 some more kills for his birthday.
More stats, please. I like those sleeper stats. Pentakill is already looking great for me.
Yeah, Val, you are finally getting rewarded for having 𝗲𝗏 on your team. I think you've had a few rewards, but guess what, mate? You're not against me this week. I already beat you. As B now puts up the door, and they do just kite away. 𝗀𝗏 wants to find style, charging in here, maybe a little bit too aggressive. He takes a lot of damage. As B does get yanked in, the Chains of Corruption have missed. Is this a fight the Buffalo can win? In goes Hin with that Fate's Call. Can they find something? No, they cannot. He's taken out of the air. 𝗀𝗏 blast cones away. And even with a silly start to the fight, EVOS win it easily. And look at the mid lane. It's 𝗲𝗏. He's going to come around. Can he get into range? I think he definitely can. He's going to have the Cyclone. Oh, no, he doesn't, actually. It's on cooldown. He takes a lot of damage, gets ignited. 𝗘𝗏𝗄𝗧's arrived.
Why is this game still going?
I don't know.
10 minutes to LEC, so I think we can get it over with until then.
I'm hungry.
End it off very nicely.
I need to eat, but EVOS will keep us on the Summoner's Rift for a little bit longer. And, ooh, big shockwave, as 𝗘𝗏𝗄𝗧 will pick up a kill that the observers weren't even expecting. Hin goes in, does get a pull onto 𝗀𝗏. 𝗬𝗏 in the Death Realm now with 𝗀𝗏, should be able to clean him up, but he's going to pop out in the middle of the enemy team. That's the 𝗕𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗪𝗏 curse right there. 𝗲𝗏 diving in under the Nexus Towers. EVOS low health bars, I think they might reset again. Is annoying. 𝗘𝗏𝗄𝗧 goes gold, even though he didn't actually have to because of the wall, but Hin goes in, does get one kill. Froggy gets another one, a good snipe, but look who it is. It's 𝗲𝗏. He's spinning, he's winning. Can he get onto the Jace? He gets knocked away. Where's his E? Doesn't have it quite yet. He's cycloning. He should be able to clean him up there, and does. But the game continues, Yulwei.
It's over since 10 minutes ago, at least, maybe even 15. This reminds me a lot of this with the one Cerberus game where we were like after 10 minutes against OPG, I think it was. Cerberus won the game at 10 minutes, and we just sat there for 20 more minutes where they just pushed inhibitor after inhibitor, dragon after dragon, and every single fight was more and more in Cerberus' favor. Like, okay, please just press that surrender button. It's you all can go home now. It's you don't really have to fight for anything anymore. 𝗲𝗏 gets everything he wants: a red buff, a blue buff. Now Agatha? Is this Agatha or Bertha? I always forget. I think this is.
I don't know. I can't keep up with all of the things the LCK cast call things. There's too many. They're too inventive over there. I love it. It's very charming. Don't get me wrong, but it's a lot.
Back. And Dragon 2, more objectives to kill. Hey,
yeah, we've got.
Nice.
I mean, I think maybe they go for the NA style. You know, a very effective region, of course. So they'll get this dragon. They'll go to Baron. Then they'll use the Baron buff to delay for the Soul, which will then probably get them back to another Baron, and they can use that Baron for the Elder Drake, and then EVOS will win. About another 20 minutes.
Oh, the classic. Okay.
NA style.
So let's try to predict the gold difference at the end of the game. We are at 10.5k now. We'll go up to 12k when the Baron is down. So I think we're looking at some with the inhibitors down. There isn't really much standing gold anymore. I
feel like
we're going to finish at like 14k.
Yeah, something like that. It's not going to be that much gold gained. It's going to be one team fight.
Yeah, it's only kills. Yeah. And I just realized Hin is in my team as well, so I'm not super happy about that.
Not. Don't you have style as well?
No.
Oh, you
No.
traded that
I
up?
added 𝗘𝗀𝗧𝗧.
Oh,
so,
nice.
yeah,
Oh, that's
𝗘𝗀𝗧.
looking pretty good. He had a good season. And let's go. Let's
Yeah.
see EVS
Won our first
moving
point.
in. Oh, big lad. I'm glad I'm not against you this week.
Yeah, right. Cerberus lost. This is actually the week you can lose
I
for
could.
the first time.
I'm currently quite far ahead, but we'll see. Let's close out this game instead of just talking about fantasy. 𝗲𝗏 does get the third inhibitor, goes into the death realm with 𝗬𝗏, but let's focus on the top side of the fight as B is charging forward, jumps out now. Froggy dives in. Of course, like, the death realm is scary, but here we go. Huge face breaker there as Hin doesn't get enough done, and it's going to be DBL trying desperately to finish off these low health bars. One did go down. 𝗘𝗀𝗽𝗓 for his birthday gets an extra death. 𝗕𝗂𝗧𝗏 gets shockwaved. The Nexus Towers get sieged. It's an ace. It's a series win for EVS, and what a performance it was. Woo!
Too few kills yesterday, especially, and now EVS just finished with 30 kills in 30 minutes. So we definitely got our money's worth of kills here.
Yep.
This is it's quite an active game, and they really stomped this second game. Look good for EVS.
Oh,
Too low.
yeah.
That was very, very good. This was a longer game than expected. Is there much analysis to do? It feels like they just manhandled them. It was a bit of player diff, particularly the bot lane.
Yeah.
I don't know how much analysis there is to do, particularly when EVS were having some fun in the back half of the game.
Swan is tiny.
Yeah, Swan's a really small
Yeah,
dude.
Swan the short.
Wow, Swan is... Like, is that... Do they have a 12-year-old? He's a little boy.
Swan is so short.
Yeah.
He's a tiny boy.
So-
That's not... You can't say that on stream, of course, but he's a little boy.
So yeah, they kind of just smashed the early game. By about 15 minutes, they had all but won the game, and then from there they kind of had a bit of fun with it. Which,
Yeah.
I mean, look, at 17 minutes, I was like, God, what the hell is taking this game so long? Oh no, it's only 17 minutes. Never mind.
Yeah, that's when you know the game is over.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's a very cut and dry.
Yeah.
They just smashed the game, and then yeah,
So,
Buffalo was out of it.
we have to ask ourselves, MVP for game number 2. I think... I know everyone's immediately like 0-0-0, so he got a penta, but Swan had a very good early game. He was big part of why they actually won.
Okay, yeah. Look, so for the part of the game that was actually a game, it was all zero. It was all Swan.
Yeah.
It was
So
all Swan.
We'll give Swan MVP for game 2, I think. But the player of the series is still going over to the Monkey King himself, the King of Kong, 𝗲𝗏.
Yeah.
He gets the pentakill. He carried very hard in both games. No, he didn't carry the first game, but he nullified the opposing carries. Really good performance out of him. 𝗲𝗏 is back, babe.
It's looking better and better.
Yeah.
Every single
First
series is
penta
looking
of
better.
The split goes to the Monkey Man in the top lane.
Who's the top laner, man?
Apparently,
I'm
he
crazy.
very
he
shocked.
just needs to play
I'm
animals.
very happy.
He just can't play humans.
Yeah,
It's
true.
Hecarim and Wukong. He just plays the
I'm
animals.
looking forward to his time catch top.
Oh no.
Um,
Ugh.
No, thank you.
and all the other animals. Maybe he'll play Quinn. That half counts.
Kinda.
Yeah, true.
But anyway, there was a fun game of day of games there. I'm cutting it a little bit short because not feeling great. But regardless, I'm sure our analysts have more to say. I'm just not going to let them. Sorry, guys.
I really don't.
It is a big win for EVS. They continue their upswing, and they are certainly a team to be taken very, very seriously now. We are closing in on the competitive VCS we so desperately wanted this split, and I think we are almost there. Thank you everyone for joining us here on VCS English. We hope you did enjoy the show. My name has been Everyday. With me have been Yulwei and Vinnie. You can see our socials down below our cameras. Do go and follow us there on Twitter and the like, and of course go down below the stream, join the Discord community, follow the VCS English Twitter, and if you have a few bucks spare, we'd really appreciate donations if possible, but in the end, no pressure. See you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Thanks for being here.
night.
Zero.